Rachel's here
There's cream up in
today
there and everything.
to learn how to make grape leaves from Edna, the teacher of us all.
So, Sissy,
Open.
okay, your mother did not teach you how to make grape leaves?
Huh? No, my mother didn't teach me how to make leaves.
I was getting the new kitchen cupboards.
Oh, all right.
I didn't learn until I got married.
And then you were living in Detroit.
And I was living in Detroit.
By then, yeah.
See, around.
So who taught you how to make the grape leaves?
Oh, my sisters-in-law, my husband's sisters,
Do they have names?
Smewiya and Maroon, and his cousin, Auntie Zahia,
Was that Uncle
and
Frank?
his sister-in-law, Najiba.
Wasn't that Frank's mother?
And Julia.
Which was Frank's mother? Smewiya?
Smewiya was Frank's mother.
And Maroon was?
Margaret's mother. and-
Margaret.
And
Margaret Denny.
Margaret Denny and Aunt Tony Thomas, and Joe Thomas.
Those were Margaret's family?
Brothers.
Yeah, two brothers and a sister. She was.
Oh, but Shrieky Tony. Not Tony we see at the family reunions. He's Tony Thomas. I remember Tony Thomas.
Tony,
That came to
that
the
Tony
theater.
Thomas.
Are you drinking my coffee?
I switched cups.
Okay.
I did.
Usually she just sits down and drinks my coffee.
Okay.
It's a sister thing.
So, Edna, we were interested, I liked the other day you were telling me when you first came. Actually, you were telling me about Olean and
Yeah.
growing up there and when Madeline worked in the butter factory and you'd go and...
Yeah, made dough. And she worked, then she went back to school. She had left school and she went back when I'm still home.
Okay.
How old were you when this was going on?
Well, I went to St. Elizabeth's Academy. For 1 year, the priest up there wanted my mother and said to her, would you send your daughter down to St. Elizabeth's Academy for a year, and they'll give me a nun to teach catechism in the church here. So my mother sent me to St. Elizabeth's Academy. Well, it was okay. I was fine. It was nice. But I was full of mischief all the time.
How old were you? What grade?
14.
I was thinking of the year, because you were born in 1909.
1909.
Okay.
And when I was, would have been 12, no, 14. I was 14 years old. When I went to St. Elizabeth's Academy. Well, we used to go out walking with the nuns. We'd walk up and down the street. And then across the street there was a college there.
Oh, was it
St. Bonaventure's College.
Was it all boys?
Was it all boys? So
You went to an all-boys school?
No, it was across the street
Oh.
from our all
Oh,
girls
no,
academy.
it was be talking, smiling and talking to the guys. And I used to write little notes.
At 14.
And
Rachel, how old are you?
oh,
Uh-oh. Hit that one. Hello? Hello? Hello?
They think they got a wrong number. Let me see.
Well, we don't want them on TV.
Probably somebody.
No, it's weird. I can hear you talking. Who else can?
So one day, and I used to write stories and pass them around the room when the nun called me into the room, to her office. And she says to me, Al, I said, she says, she handed me a little paper here. She said, is this your writing? I said, yes. It was one of the... Well, that
Rachel
was
does. She does letters too. No.
Yeah. Anyway, I stayed there that year. When it was time for me to go home, they said, you can't.
Oh, you were there a whole year?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
And then they said, we can't take her back. She's full of mischief.
Now, in this house, was there only one family in this house in Olean?
My family?
The Simon house in Olean? Because I know when you come to Detroit, many families live together. In Olean, it was just the Simons in that house,
each family
right?
had their own home. It wasn't here. Here we lived in each room. We lived with a house that had about 8 rooms, maybe 10 rooms, 5 down, 5 up. And in every room there was a family, like Maroon had her 3 children in, 2 children, and then we had an attic, and the attic was big. What's the matter?
Nothing. I'm going wide angle so I can get all of you in the picture.
The attic had a great big, it was a big attic, and they had beds up there. And all the extra children were sleeping up in the attic.
But those women also came over from the old country without husbands.
Their husbands had died in the war. They
Oh.
all came over from the war.
When you talk to her, I'm afraid I won't get what you're saying, so why don't you move over so your voice comes this way? Move over a little more.
Anyway, we were talking about Olean. So,
Right, back to Olean.
so they
So they
said,
sent
We
you
want to
home.
hear how you get to
well,
meet
they
Pete
sent me
there.
home.
And they said, we love you, Edna, but don't come back
No,
because
don't come back.
you're too high-spirited for us.
So, anyway, then I went up to high school, Olean High. That was first year high school, up right next to the church. So I'd go to the church and work, and after the church, I'd do the work around there, and I'd go home and go to school the next day. So this one day, Pete come in. He came in from Detroit.
How did he get there?
Well, they were at the feast of the Blessed Mother, the feast of the 15th of August, Blessed Mother's feast day. They always go to Cary, Ohio. And all these people went to Cary. On their way back, this one guy said to Pete, I got a girl for you. We got to go to Massachusetts. We'll go to Massachusetts, and I got a...
But Olean's in New York.
I got a nice niece there.
Oh,
That,
okay.
Michael, what is his name? Bernie Michael's father. He says, I have a niece for you. I want to take you. So on the way, George Usmer was Pete's friend. He says, hey, I got a nice girl in Olean. Let's stop by Olean first. So they stopped in Olean, and that's where I was. And I met him. So they were there for a couple of days, and the first day they ate, and they're sitting there, and they're looking around. My sister and I were doing the cooking. Madeline was doing the cooking, and then Pete's sitting there, and he's eating his peas with his knife. I said, oh my God, look at that guy, will you? He's eating his peas with his I started giggling about it. Anyway, he started to talk to me. He took me out for a ride, and we got to talk to each other.
So, but they didn't originally plan on stopping and seeing you.
George Adler had him standing there. And he said, you got to come and see this girl before you go wherever you're going. So he fell in love with me.
So how did you know him, Asmer?
Well, I was working at the church. I told you another Father Asmer's cousin.
Oh, okay.
Father Shamali was related to Father Asmer. Never cousins, so he knew him. So they stopped there, and they stayed there a couple of days. So they went back, and then he started to write to me. And Annie, his niece Ann, would do the writing for him and send the letters, and I'd answer them back.
Did you know when he came he was looking for a wife? Did he mention to you he was looking for a wife?
No, I didn't know anything about that, but that's how it happened. So we started...
So when he leaves and writes to you, you didn't know that he was planning on coming back for you?
No. He says, will you write to me if I write to you? I said, yes. So Annie used to do the writing, and most of the writing for him. And I'd answer back. And then that's how it was. So to ask my father for my hand. And my father said, I don't know about that. He said to my mother, what am I going to do? He says, if I say no, you know how these people are from the old country. They'll just grab the girl and go.
Well, and plus, how old's Pete?
Yeah, he said...
Pete, he was...
Well, he was tough.
No, but how old was he at the time?
About 29.
And you were 16 at this time, right?
Anyway, we were writing together, and then all of a sudden he come down, he brought Aunt Smeria with him, and George Asmer, and then they asked my father for my hand, and he finally decided, yes, okay, all right. So that one, they were there for about a week. They take me shopping, they bought me clothes, got me 2 beautiful rings, and the third ring That third ring was from George, the one you got.
Oh, George bought you a ring too?
Yeah, that's which one?
It's the white sapphire
Yeah,
and white
that one.
gold.
He got me that one.
Oh.
So I had 3 rings from the
So-
wedding.
Is this before you turned 17 or after? This is when they came to get you to bring you to
That
Detroit,
was-
right?
Well, I was still 16 when they met. That was I didn't turn 17 until October the 4th.
Right. So wasn't all this shopping done when he came to
Well,
bring you to
then
Detroit?
Nobody thought about ages. Well, anyway, I couldn't get married because I was too young. So my mother had to go down with me down to the city hall and say that she was my mother and she was accepting that this guy would marry me because I was too young.
Because you're still 16.
Yeah. So then we got married. You can't get married on Sunday. So we had to wait till Monday. So they stayed all night long in the room and they washed me. They washed part of me and they'd sing to me. And then they took me downstairs and they put me on a chair. And my brother Mitch.
This is Mitch up here, right?
Yeah, Mitch. He was,
Where did he fall in age?
well, he was let's see. No. Mitch isn't up
There's
there.
Mitch, yeah.
Mitch isn't up there.
Oh, this is Habib.
This is Habib.
That's Habib. There's
Yeah.
Jerry. That's Siti with Uncle Gabe.
That's with Gabe, and that's Jerry.
And then Jerry.
And your father was up there.
And Habib.
Yeah.
And Jiddi. That is Pete.
Yeah. Anyway, they started to sing at the table. Then my brother started to cry. They said, "That's enough. No more singing." So they stopped singing, and they were getting ready. They had to get married. We got married, ready to go to the church. They had me all dressed. 6 o'clock in the morning. It was Monday. You couldn't get married on Sunday. So married in Buffalo in the train
On Monday.
on Monday morning.
So you got married and there was no reception, just the
Well,
ceremony?
the reception at the house.
Okay.
Oh, everybody was there, and they were singing and all that, and they said, "That's enough, no more." Because Mitch started to cry. He felt bad.
Okay.
And then we came to Buffalo. And we went all over Buffalo in a cab, and met the priest in Buffalo, and he told me, this is your marriage, you gotta be this, you gotta do this. Father Shamali. And later on, my cousin Angie was working for Father Shamali.
That's right.
That was it in there, and that was it. From there, from Buffalo, we came to Detroit. We get to Detroit, down at the Michigan Central. You know where that is down there.
Train station.
We get out of the Michigan Central, walk out, and everybody's a whole crowd of people waiting for us.
Now, who was it? There were 5 of you, right? 5?
There was Smewia, Matt, George Asman, and Pete.
Okay, so there were
And
4
then
of you
there
getting
was
off the train.
Do you remember downtown where the restaurant used to be downtown? Where the restaurant used to be downtown, where they had the Lebanese restaurant down there?
The
On
theater?
Lafayette,
Oh,
that place. That man, that's where he was one of the people from Buffalo that had gone down to Olean with Pete. He had driven him in his car, with his car. So then, when we get to the, I'm telling you, we get to the railroad station and they're walking me out. And all of a sudden, this woman starts screaming at Pete. Her husband was with him, Joe. Her husband, Joe, had gone with him. And he had come back sick. And she was so mad she started throwing rotten eggs at everybody.
oh, that's
She was
nice
there with
reception.
Yeah. And then, anyway, we got home.
How come he was sick?
Yeah, too much.
Too much
turkey.
udder?
Yeah.
Uh,
So they got back, and y'all all got in the car, and we get home, Congress Street, and the house was full of people upstairs. Everybody was upstairs. So get to the stairs, Pete picks me up and carries me upstairs, and I told him, I want to be carried over the threshold.
That's right. I told my husband that.
So he picked me up and took me up, and everybody was singing, and they sang all night long. And that's the way the wedding was. And then they all went home. And then that's when I was supposed, they go take the arus out, you know, the bride, to show her to everybody. Well, then that's where Saidi became my friend, and she always made my clothes for me. She made beautiful clothes for me. Saidi did it. And I was taken out the first Sunday. Everybody come to see what Pete's got. Where did he go and get her?
Oh, you left out the part when he took you to the, didn't he take you to the bridge? Give you the gun?
Oh, that was before.
That's when he proposed.
That's when he.
Well, let's hear the proposal, yeah.
Well, he took me for a ride and stopped in the middle of the bridge.
Which bridge?
Going to East Olean. You know where we were going for the, on our
Oh, the picnic, that bridge there?
Yeah, that bridge there.
Wow.
Yeah, remember under there. He stopped a car. And then he says, "You gotta marry me." That's before I said yes.
He hands you the gun.
But he
Or
said,
he slid it
"See
over
this
to
gun
you?
here? If you don't marry me, you might as well pick it up and shoot me. Because I told everybody we're bringing you back, and I can't go on back on my word." So I said, "Okay."
How could you refuse that, right? Well, that's kind of interesting too, because didn't your mother and father have an interesting?
Well, he talked to my dad. My dad said, "My daughter don't know how to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Her mother did everything in the house. You have to be, you know."
But didn't Jiddi and Siti Simon, didn't he lock her in a closet so she can go off and marry someone else, or is that a story?
Lock me in the closet?
No, Jiddi Simon.
Your father.
I'm talking about
Did your father lock your mother?
No.
I
Oh,
thought
my mother, yeah.
she was supposed to go marry someone else, no?
My mother, when she came here, she used to go pedaling with a thing on her back.
Uh-huh.
She carried it on her back, and she'd go to all these
For
farmhouses.
the vegetables and stuff that she grew.
No, clothes. You know, they sold always with clothes to wear and stuff like that.
Okay.
She carried it on her back. And so when she come home, all these guys wanted my mother. She was a cute little thing.
She was 5 feet tall, right?
5
Cute little
foot tall,
thing.
and you never know how pretty she was. When she was there, you knew you saw her with a scarf. Well, you didn't
Well,
see her.
Little
with a
bit,
scarf.
pictures.
I don't know if you remember her. But he'd sit outside of her door because all the guys were after her. They wanted her. So he'd sleep outside of her door so they wouldn't get to her. You remember that.
Okay, I thought...
married at the time?
No.
I thought I
Before they
heard
were
she was
married.
supposed to get on a train to go marry someone else.
No.
Oh, I thought, was that happened to somebody? I thought I heard a story, someone supposed to go marry someone, so he locked her in a closet for, until her train left.
No.
And then she had to marry him.
He slept outside of her door so nobody can go
Okay.
inside.
All right.
Because they all wanted her. She was a
Mhm.
cute little thing. Well, she was,
Did you ever get locked in a closet?
no, I didn't get locked in the closet.
Nobody did? Okay, so that was just a story as a kid.
Did you ever climb out a window? When you were a girl living at home?
Oh, when I used to get out and run to go to the dances, yeah.
How'd you get out?
we had a bathroom with 2 doors to it. One you could go out and go into the other house and go out. That's what I used to do. I'd unlock the door and go out, and then I come back creeping at about 1 o'clock.
And did you get caught?
And sometimes,
Well, that's why she
Yeah,
ended
when I
up in
was
the,
14,
that's why she ended up in the convent. Was this before or after? You also witnessed a murder right around 14, didn't you?
that's when my uncle used to live with this woman, and I always go over there, because she's always had these books that,
Comic book.
comic books, and I'd be reading the comic book, because her daughter had all kinds of stuff there. And I looked up, and gun in her mouth.
Who was the man? And not the uncle.
Italian. No, some Italian was crazy about her, and she didn't want him. He didn't want him. But he wanted her. But he shot her.
And you were...
He shot her. I ran out of there. I didn't know where I was going to go. Oh, my God. And
You were afraid he'd come after
my uncle
you?
was living with her, but he wasn't married to her. Her name was May. I forgot her, but she was a beautiful person. That's what, we were talking about the time I've had 2 murders in my life.
Yeah, she's been there for 2.
In the time when Helen's daughter, I was there when she was killed. But I didn't know she was killed.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is what happened. And
Was
we
it...
married, and we came to Buffalo, and then we came to Detroit, and he carried me up the stairs, and Julia was there, you know.
And here you were, and you had a room in the house, right? There were several
Well, I had the
families?
front room, and it had a little alcove in it. And the bed was in the alcove, and the other part of the room had a couch and a table and everything.
Like a little sitting room?
Yeah, in that one. And then you go out, and there's a banister that goes downstairs, and then there's a place, you walk a little bit, and then you go into the dining room of the house. So we lived there until everybody moved out, and I was there alone. So I had the whole house later to myself.
Who else was there? What other families?
Well, they all left. They all, like, Maroon left and lived on Congress Street, lived further down where Margaret was living with her. And then that's when she met
Solomon.
Yeah, Freddie Solomon.
Who was Butsy
Butsy.
and
Louis.
Louis, yeah.
And that happened on Congress Street. We lived there for quite a few years.
Well, and didn't Tony and Najibi live there?
Well, Tony lived there. Then they lived on, they moved to, where did they move? I'm trying to think where they moved last.
And Mike and Julia were there?
Mike and Julia always lived, they lived down.
Did they have Dolores at that time? Was she born
yet?
yet?
They had a little girl. And at that time, that little girl, I remember that Gabriel was a little fellow. And the little girl was sick, and they had her in the big room now. And Auntie Najibi and Lizette were in the big room. And they had the baby there, Ann. Christine Ann, her name was.
Whose baby was this?
Julia's baby. She was a beautiful
I didn't know that.
baby.
With Mike?
Yeah.
With Uncle Mike?
Yeah.
I didn't know there was
she
another
had Christine
baby.
Ann. And then Gabriel come out, and he says, "There's angels flying in there." Everybody looked. He was just a little fellow. Just a little guy.
Wow,
Now,
I've
who was
never
going to
heard
see him
that.
but
Uncle Gabe.
Uncle
If
Gabe.
anybody were to see angels,
Yeah,
it would be
he
Uncle
saw.
Gabe.
He says, "There's angels flying around." She died.
What happened? Was she sick? I mean,
She must have been, oh my goodness, she must have been six months old, just a little baby.
An infant.
But she was a beautiful baby.
I
And
never
she
knew
died, but
they had another
Gabe
baby.
saw the angels flying around in there. We always said, he was always like a...
Now, how old was Gabe at that
Oh,
time?
well, he must have been about 4 years, 5 years old. I don't think more than 5.
Like Sammy's age.
It's more, 4 years old.
That's I never.
But he
knew
saw
that
that,
age.
saw angels flying, and she died, so, and her. Well, then we had the grandfather living there. He was living in one little room.
Who's grand? Oh.
He was only 63 years old when he died, but he got something wrong with him, and they operated on him, and they put him back in the room. Before he got better, he went down and he was helping them take the clinkers out of we had a furnace. You don't know what the clinkers are. These big furnaces, when they burn in the houses, these things they have to take the clinkers. He was taking them out. And he was carrying these clinkers outdoors, and he was just operated on. Anyway, his operation it opened up on him. That's when he died.
I guess I didn't realize he came to the United
now,
States.
This was right when Jerry was born.
So Jiddy's whole family came at the same time? I thought just the boys came. The mom and dad came too?
Oh yeah, they were together.
Now was he Sadkis?
And when I was married, the old lady had already been dead. He
Okay.
wasn't there. But the old man was still living, and he lived downstairs. But poor fella, and I used to be afraid of the dead people. Oh, I was afraid. And he'd say to me, "You afraid of this?" And he'd put his hand on the wood. I said, "No." He says, "When they're dead, they're just like that. Don't be afraid." He used to tell me, "Don't be afraid." He was a nice old man. He used to sell ice cream. You know how they push the ice cream and ring the bell? But 63, my God, now, what is 63?
Nothing.
Back then he was just...
30 years ago, huh?
Yep.
Yep. He was a nice old man. He really was.
What was his name?
Sarkis.
Oh, okay. That's he.
They called him Buddha because he was the father of the oldest, which was Rizza. Now there was Rizza, Butrus, and there was a Jabroyev. He was 23 years old before I was married to him. He was 23 years old, he got pneumonia and died.
Yeah.
But this one girl woman used to tell me, she said, God, Annie Nicholas, she says, I was in love with him. And they all said to me, I was 14, she said, and he was the most handsomest guy you've ever seen in your life. And they'd say to me, what do you want with that old man? Old man. He was handsome, handsome. And you look one of these days and find a picture of him. He was handsome.
Oh, yeah.
He was only 23 when he died. So there were no girls, just the boys. Now, what will I tell you next?
Probably how to make grape glaze. Because you had to come to Detroit to learn how to.
Oh, I know. Well, because all your sisters ended up here, right?
Well,
Because you're
when
from
they-
Olean,
When they saw me, and I was so good, I was always doing anything. I would never say no to anything Pete told me to do. And they'd say, you got bad fish, you hadn't mittley, will bite on it. So Madeline came.
you got to tell us what that means.
Have you got anybody else like you at home?
There you go.
I said, my sister Madeline, in school, went to high school and nursing school, and so she came and she got a job at Alexander Blaine Hospital. Now that's right down on DuBois Street. You don't remember if you remember Blaine Hospital on DuBois.
Actually, I do remember they used to say from Seaburn, go down Seaburn and end up over there.
Yeah, she was head nurse. That's how smart she was. But Pete used to go every night and bring her home from
Walk her
work,
home.
Walk her home. It was so good to her.
Oh, yeah, you know,
Everybody
that's
was
true.
good to Madeline.
How did you get around then?
Well,
There
then-
weren't automobiles by then, were there? Did you guys have automobiles?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were
But
automobiles.
they also had trolleys,
Well, because,
cable cars. Trolleys, cable cars.
I didn't think everybody had cars by then. I knew
No,
they
but-
were around.
No, your grandfather had a car.
He did? Okay.
Oh, he had a car. But they had these open cars, you know, that you put,
What did my grandfather do for a living? Where
sold
did
butter
money
and
come
eggs.
from? Butter and eggs.
Yeah. At first, I don't know what he was doing, whatever he was doing. He fed the poor. He was always helping the poor.
He did come to Detroit because of the automotive industry,
Yeah,
right?
but
they never worked in, none of the,
never worked
Tony
in
and Mike
automotive.
and Pete never
And
worked
Uncle
in it.
Shickley worked for Buell and Son. Buell and Son.
And
He used to drive a truck.
Oh.
And he was so strong, God bless him. Shickley was a strong man.
Mhm.
And Rizza had the money, and he always dressed fancy. And he was a ladies' man.
We just remember the man on the machine.
He was a ladies' man.
Well, where did he get his money?
Well, I don't know how he got it, but he had money. And he had a pool room, and he made money from the pool room.
Probably.
Gambling.
And then Pete was working for the gas station.
Where he foiled
And
around.
there's just that picture in there before he
Oh, yeah.
was married.
He foiled the robber and he got that nice stick
Yeah,
down.
And the girls used to tell me they used to run around. They liked Pete when he was working in the gas station. And a lot of girls liked him.
That's funny, but he wouldn't marry any from around here.
No, it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, it was.
That's true. Because he never made it to Massachusetts to meet the one he was on his way to see, right?
That was Bernie Michael's cousin.
You see,
It was luck.
but a whole different group of girls sitting here with you.
Huh?
It would have been a different group of girls sitting with you.
Yeah. Oh, there was a lot of guys wanted me. They said, "Oh, she'd look at that girl. She's good to have for babies." I guess all they wanted was babies, those guys.
That's okay.
Old country guys.
Sons. They wanted sons.
They wanted sons.
But my grandfather was good even with his daughters.
Huh?
My grandfather was good. His children, whether they were boys or girls.
Madeline had the brain. Madeline had the brain.
Edna had the look.
And Edna had the nuttiness. She'd go out and my mother'd send me to get something and I wouldn't come back. So she'd say to Madeline, "Where's your sister? Go get your sister." And poor Madeline would wonder where I was. It was an Italian family, little next on 8th Street. I'd go over there and I'd sit around over there. They had a player piano that you push with your feet, and I'd be playing the piano. Not only that, was that making bread. I'd watch her make the Italian bread, and I stuck around there. They had about 4 or 5 boys there.
Boys.
Say that question, where the
That's
boys
the key
were.
word.
Where the boys were.
Wherever the boys were, Edna was.
And Aunt Nellie, what did she do in all that?
How'd she get up here? Same way, right?
Well, and Nellie, Naziza next door, lived next door. She took Nellie and she took Scotty into her house. Made them like little servants for her. Nellie learned how to iron clothes the best of anybody. She taught her how to iron and how to do things. She was always smart. And even Icer, she loved Icer. She sort of took him away from my mother, you know. She'd have them doing things and giving them money because her husband died. She had a nice man. He died and she married a Greek. And she always was dressed fancy with fancy hats and fancy clothes. She had a fancy house. And Nellie was sleeping there, and Scotty and Icer, they're all were going doing work for her all the time. And she had the chicken coop in the back where all the chickens, you know, when they want a chicken, they kill a chicken. When they make tabbouleh in a big thing, and they have a rug out there, and all her lady friends would come, and they had the alkili.
Oh, no.
They smoked the alkili.
The ladies did?
What did they smoke in
I
that?
thought only the men did that.
It's tobacco.
Oh, what about?
It's a regular tobacco, but maybe it's stuff that they call, whatever they call it.
Hashish?
Maybe it's hashish, I don't know.
Hashish? Did they
But
smoke
they'd
it?
all be sitting around there
Happy,
on the grass.
happily smoking the argument.
Uh-huh. So my girlhood was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
What? Judy, tell us, what is hashish? Rachel's asking.
What you do?
I don't really know.
Hashish is
Is it the
tobacco.
oil? Is it
It's
oil?
a
You want
compressed
some butter on
tobacco.
there?
Yeah, it's
There's
a compressed tobacco that you smoke and makes you happy.
Keely, you go into these
No,
places
because it's
now?
kind of gooey or something. isn't
Honey,
it?
you go into these places now?
That's opium, Marilyn.
I don't know. No, opium's oil.
Opium is gooey.
Sweetheart, the alkili's out there.
I know.
Oh, so do you have anything to put in it, Cissy?
Huh? Then it has a long...
Do you have something for us to smoke in the Gillies?
No, my father, all the foreigners all smoked ice.
But they did smoke regular tobacco, eh? I always thought it
It's a
was
water pipe, Rachel.
Water pipe.
And what it does is it takes the smoke through the inhaler.
Oh, really?
Yeah, did you know that?
Why would I know that? Bong. Judy Bong Panoni.
Cupid.
Well, my God, honey, I could sit for hours and hours and hours.
No, we're going to make you sing for your supper. First we're going to make you sing and then we're going to make you cook the
Well,
supper.
Judy, is there anything else that you want to?
I think that this should be a series of Saturdays. I think that we should have Saturdays with Sissy. And this week she should teach us how to make grape leaf.
Well, you know what,
And
you girls
maybe
should come
in a
and-
month,
come and see Sito all the time.
yes, and then maybe in a month we can sing a Syrian sweet that you can show us how to
Making-
make.
And we don't really want it to be belewa.
No, what about Slavia?
No.
Slavia,
Slavia,
Zlabi's so easy. No, I don't
No, no.
know.
Okay.
That's just true.
Zlabi's so easy.
Yeah, well maybe next time we can
It's
make
the dough.
lasagna.
When we make the dough and it raises,
Mhm.
you take it out and you
Oh,
have
is it
the
just the
oil
butter to fry?
waiting for it. And
You know it's more than just butter.
Then you dip it in just sugar. It's delicious.
It's almost like a powdered sugar donut, right? Cinnamon and sugar, raised.
Oh, the angel wings?
No, it's bread dough. It's bread dough that's raised,
Good, isn't it?
so.
This is good.
It is very good.
This is
Want butter?
Italian.
No?
Would you like this piece? Oh, Rachel. Yeah, you're this story.
But that's for Aunt Marilyn's videotape and
Yeah.
that's it. When we do the Marilyn.
And that's for
thing.
when I turn 91.
God.
And Rachel comes
What
to
is it,
video
God
me.
willing? God willing, Rachel? Marilyn will be 91, I'll be dead.
Hmm?
Yeah.
No, look at poor Nellie's been gone forever. And she was the youngest of the three girls, right? Aunt Nellie was the youngest of the three girls, wasn't she? So, and Madeline's the oldest.
Harold Scotty was the youngest of all.
I just want to mention that here we are sitting around the Lebanese table eating the Italian cannoli.
What's up? It usually would have been London and cheese and olives. That's good.
Next time. So,
Pleasure for me. One time, one guy come down the house. And he had on those, the boots you put on that you buckle, you know. The guy's always warm and they, when they're walking.
Galoshes.
Galash, yeah.
She came through the door. Edna! My mother come out with the, the broom.
They're gonna beat her
Oh,
up.
Edna, you! The poor guy sat running.
Did he ever come back?
Well, I saw him after, but... Get the broom.
did she yell, Rashid, bring me my broom? So I come by my broom, honestly. It's been handed down from generation to generation.
Well, my father worked at Windsor Hotel. At this hotel they had, and I used to go there. My daughter is Lillian. And my uncle, my mother's brother, used to live there too. So he liked the girl up at the hotel. But the mother liked my uncle. He was a handsome guy. Poor guy never got married. Saeed, his name was. They call him Sid. So this one time, she went over there and she come after him, and he shot at her. They put him in jail, poor fella.
I'm telling you, we just miss them good old days.
Right. We all had guns.
Yeah, didn't we have the most boring lives when you think about it? You know, we met people, we got married, and, you know, we didn't see anybody get
And
killed.
then-
We weren't whisked off anywhere on a train,
So anyway,
the
when
reception.
he got out, he was a different hairdresser.
Left all his boyfriends behind.
He went in the van and came out a hairdresser.
If you go through my pictures, I can show you when I was.
That's what I was thinking
When I
too.
was
Maybe one of these
16,
times
I
you could
get
zoom in
I
on some
mean-
pictures.
Well, not only that, so I thought we'd look at the pictures and write about them.
But
Hi, would you like to sit in here and have some panoni bread with us?
Something to drink.
Oh,
go
would you like
stand by
coffee?
City Edna and I'll get you some water so we can get you. Go give City Edna a hug. We'll get you on the video. Look over by Mama and smile.
Tell the camera who you are.
This is
No, let the
Edna's.
camera tell them. Bint Ibn.
I'm not an Ibn.
Pooh.
Bint Binti. He's an Ibn of Bint Binti.
Hey, Ibn Binti, come here.
He's the youngest of how many? Edna? He's the youngest of how many great-grandchildren?
24.
You have 24 great-grandchildren from you.
And Matthew will be 21.
She did well in spreading the...
And Matthew's going to be 21.
21.
Mm-hmm.
In
I was thinking if he were a girl, he probably would be married and I'd be
No.
Not in this day and age.
I have a broom.
And she knows a few choice ones. There's a few words we've picked up from you.
I have broom. Yeah. Did he say he wanted water? Yeah, he just said anything. He'd have anything to drink. Poor little boy.
Do you want something else?
You don't want some coffee? It's really bad.
Well, next time maybe
You
she
want
could,
the pot?
next time you guys, maybe we could do Mjadra and Lebanon or
Oh,
something.
yeah.
That'd be.
How's that sound, Rachel?
Mjadra?
That would be good. I still want to get some lasagna
I'm
in
getting
there.
some really hungry, some good Lebanese food.
You are?
I'm hungry.
You are?
Yeah. You made a great food, I'd probably eat it raw at this point.
We are making grape leaves. We're gathered here today to cook grape leaves.
But I do have such a life, I can't think about how much I know, how much I've gone. You know, at one time, I was president of the Downtown Health Guild. All the millionaires downtown,
Downtown Detroit.
we'd come into Grosse Pointe and have tea parties, and I'd be at the tea party.
Oh, what else? You've also been lifetime, you only now at 90 have resigned from the Ladies of
91.
Charity, right? Well, no, she gave it up.
In 91.
Do you want a piece of bread, honey? Yeah,
Right.
thank you.
Oh,
Bread,
you got
bread,
that.
bread,
You want
bread,
it.
bread.
Came in
And this guy told me,
Jesse, go stand by Cynthia Edna, because we got the video on. Stand by her and smile pretty for the camera. This is Edna's 12th, no, where would she fall? I don't even know. From her daughter Mary, Jessica is the 12th great-grandchild.
Yes.
Where she falls in the number of 24, I don't know.
Let me see, what did she fall in? Yeah, she's almost about the same size of all the girls, isn't she? About the same age, right?
What's that like that?
I don't know. No, because
How old
there's
are you?
Tiffany and Rachel.
She is 7 years old, and one of my prettiest great-granddaughters.
Her and Rachel.
They're all pretty.
You should, Jesse, get over there, Rachel.
She's almost.
Go stand by Rachel. Go stand right in there between Edna and Rachel, and I'll zoom in on you. Go over there. Stand by Edna. Oh, Jesse, I wanted you in between the two.
Mini-me.
Let's get your three cheeks. Mini-me. Cheek to cheek to cheek.
Let me let you
Yeah. Come on. Jesse, put your cheek next to Cynthia Edna's. There we go. All right. Now there's a shot for you.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Boring.
That's sweet. If I had a camera, I'd take a picture.
Woo! Next time.
Okay. Well, is that wrapping up our
Yeah, I think we're
tea
ready.
time with
Go in
Edna?
the hall and get that picture of me on my 16th birthday, look at it.
Oh, yes. Isn't it you with Madeline?
Right on the day I was 16.
Yeah, that's it, Rachel. Want to bring it here?
Now, see
Yeah.
the same look there? The hair?
Look at the eyes. Look at that smoldering look she's giving us.
Now, this
Beautiful
man,
picture.
I was for him, and I was ready to leave with Madeline. And he says, wait a minute. Then I had that powder blue, and Madeline had a red dress on. The both were the same. And they're taking a picture like this.
In this picture, one's a blue and one's a red dress?
Yeah. But in that, see, as we were ready to leave,
Madeline was
we
in
stood
red.
in the doorway. He says, wait a minute, now stay where you are. So we stayed, and he took this picture.
That's a nice, I love
And
that
this
picture.
picture is like when I was 16, I'm 91 now, 85, 75. How many years? Years would that be?
Yeah.
See the beautiful
That's right.
paper that they got it on?
64 years
Oh, the brownie. 64?
63, 64.
74. And 74 years ago. Who would believe
Yep.
that picture?
Yep, 70.
Well, kind of a background.
Mhm.
Very classic.
Well, everything about it. You look posed. It looks all set up. Where you guys were on your way out and you just stopped. You got your coats on and
Got the
everything.
same eyes, the same nose, the
Mhm.
same mouth.
I see a strong resemblance between Madeline
There's
and
pictures
Nellie.
of Madeline when she was a bridesmaid. She looks so beautiful.
Well, she's
She's
still
such a
is,
pretty
too.
woman.
But Madeline's 93 this year. And she's with Anne Marie and Bob out in Rochester.
Yeah.
She's staying with them there.
Uh-huh.
She was just a block over for about 7 years, right? She lived one
Right.
block next door to here.
Right next
It
to
was
me.
nice and easy to visit.
Want a little butter on it, baby? Just got put some on it.
Maybe one day, even when Madeline's here, and then you two can reminisce stories and
Yeah.
we could video that.
Well,
That'd be
I'll be
nice
honest
also.
with you. God bless Madeline, had a lot of stories to tell me.
She wasn't as wild as you. She took care of a lot. She worked at...
Well,
When I was at Helen that time, when I was, okay, hon, when I was at Helen, we went to a party, and I went with them, and coming back, her brother-in-law passed away, so she went with the people to the hospital with her brother-in-law, and I came back to take her home, and she says, I waited for them, then her daughter come out, Amy came out, and she said, Aunt Edna, go home.
Right.
The school in Grosse Pointe, she went to Grosse Pointe. She said, we'll meet you. At 8 o'clock in the morning, do you mind coming to the house, because I'm driving, and stay here because I have to identify him. So I went to the house and parked outside, then I go inside, and there's a lot of men there, I don't know them. And then there's women there, and I said, hello, and while Helen wasn't there, she was with wherever she had gone. So I sat there, and then her nephew was sitting there, the one that, the son of the guy that just died. So I started talking to him in Arabic, and I said, would you like a cup of coffee? He said, no. I said, my God, he's really feeling down. After a while, he got to talking. I was talking to this lady. She was an American woman married to one of these men. We were talking, all of a sudden there was a shot come out. And they said in Arabic, Atala means he shot her or he killed her. I heard that, I jumped up, and I ran out of that, grabbed my coat and ran out of the house. And I was only a couple of blocks away from, I was going over to what is her name now? I can't think of her name. To my lady friend up the street from where the house there. I go over there and I don't find her home, then I come back over to Ann Dwight's house. She's right next door there. I knocked on the door and walked in, and I said, Ann, turn the radio on. Something just happened. Maybe it's on television, on the radio. She said, what? I said, somebody was killed, and I was there. So she was there, and then another knock on the door, and here was Ann Cafagna. She was still Ann.
Sahadi. Oh, Betty Jean's sister.
Betty Jean's.
And Ann
That was
Dwighty.
Ann Dwight's house.
That's Dr. Dwighty, right? The doctor who went to his
Ann
kids?
worked for Dr. Dwighty. So she said, I said, and Ann says to me, what are you doing here? I said, what do you mean, what am I doing here? They're looking all over for you. I said, why? They said, well, Helen said you were at her house and they shot her daughter and you were there. I said, oh, yeah. And they're looking for you. I said, oh my God, what am I going to do? So I said, hey, can I use the phone? I've been calling the telephone to call my brother-in-law, Chickadee, to come and pick me up so he can take me to Canada so they won't be looking for me. I'm telling you, it's something else. Then, no, he died. So when he died, they don't have to look for no one because he's the one that shot her and killed her.
Oh, the boy that killed. Now he shot her. Why did he shoot her?
How can you, there's no answer to that.
No. Didn't he want to marry her and she refused
No, they said,
him?
no, that was not true.
Oh, see, another story.
Because later on, listen to this, later on, she had already sent in, she wanted to be a nun. And they roll them up and put them in the cat. She says, you can't do it. She's baptized, married. Ed Howsey and Edna are her godparents. So they couldn't do that. But instead of taking her to St. Mary's, they buried her from where she was going to school. And then afterwards, Ed Howsey paid for he invited all the girls, all the school came down and ate after the funeral. She was buried from that church.
See, that's the story. Growing up, that was, because she was 14 and I was 13 when this happened. It was about 1973. And I was told then that he wanted to marry her and she refused him. And he had said, if I can't have you, no one can.
Well,
so
I
he
don't
had
know.
killed her
all
and then
kinds
himself.
of stories, honey. So anyway, afterwards, she got a letter saying she would be accepted to become
Oh, that
a
was
nun.
after, yeah.
So you know part of the story.
No, if we're gonna do Great Lakes, so we have to get.
Okay, yeah, you know what, this is at the end of the
Yeah,
tape,
so that was another thing that, poor thing, she was such a sweetheart. She really was a good girl.
Young girl.
A beautiful girl, wrote poems. They have a book of her poems, you know. I don't know where the book is. I don't have it. But,
Probably with Helen's family. Helen Assad, right?
yeah. Well, her father was Muslim. The father of the girl was Muslim. That's why they wanted to bury her Muslim. And she wouldn't, said you couldn't do it because she's baptized Maronite.
Hmm.
So there's another story. Now, what are you going to get out of there? Get ready for?
They're
What?
getting ready for making grape leaves. Judy is cleaning out your refrigerator for you. Grape leaves, now where did you get the grape leaves? Are these picked from your yard?
Over there from the yard.
Yep, you pick these all summer long.
Mm-hmm.
So we have ones off the
How about
vine.
that meat? Did we leave it there?
Yes, the meat is out.
Softened up?
Is it soft enough or should we microwave it a little?
I think it's good. Does it need to be soft? Yeah, it's soft, it's not frozen.
Well, that's it.
And Judy's doing the rounds of the cupboards and where is everything?
Can you roll up your sleeve? And you get, Judy, honey.
A bowl, mixing bowl?
Yeah, down there in the bottom you'll find.
Here?
Or maybe in the drawers there, sweetheart. The drawers, the other, on the other side.
Well, I was hoping if this ran out, it would just be one solid tape, but it seems to keep